Some leaders solve problems, but a few redefine them. Meet Mr. Akhilesh Yede, the mind behind the legendary Nokia N95, the first phone to ever support YouTube videos. Former vice president at Airtel X Labs, senior director at Groupon, and now chief technology officer. Digital native at Microsoft.
Just keep on learning and then sow that curiosity and just don't be in the comfort zone. Once all these things come together, then it's the commitment you need to show.
And while some transform products, others transform industries. Meet Mr. Rajorshi Aich. From shaping $50 million deals at Accenture to building Google Cloud's global solutions team from the ground up. With over 2 decades of leadership, he now drives breakthroughs in cloud and AI as head of enterprise solutions, Google Cloud Consulting.
Being a successful startup founder is not the only way to key to success. If you can come up with any sort of a idea, it is funded and it is seriously funded.
Today, these two visionaries stand together, sharing decades of experience, lessons, and their vision for the future. Welcome to the Super Mentor Sessions, featuring Akhilesh Yede and Rajorshi Aich.
So you have to be competent. You have to be very good at whatever you are doing. So that's going to be judged.
Do you have the clarity on that problem statement itself?
That gives us humanity an absolute fantastic platform to take it to next levels.
I think especially in the AI age, what I would recommend is that building the capability of a human.
I'll tell you one trait of Sundar, which I saw and we all took a lot of inspiration from. But definitely giving up. If you give up, then your chances are zero.
First of all, I'd like to extend thankfulness for taking time to come here and speak to the young minds over here. And we'll start right away from the list of questions that we have curated. In fact, when you were asking for questions from the student on what they want to hear from you, more than 50 questions popped up and we could not fit into the time. So we have shortened it, but starting right away, this question is to Mr. Rajorshi. From your experience of building and leading teams at Google, could you share what traits do you commonly see in people you hired and people who grow fast in the company? And of course, you can tell your own story or someone that you really admire at Google.
So first of all, everybody is an individual. Whatever I say, just take it as anecdotal. I'm sure that each one of you is an individual, fantastic person. So bring in your individuality when the time comes. But one experience that I wanted to share with you, Shruti, is a gentleman called Emmanuel. And this was in Latin America. I wanted someone to join my team in Colombia. And I was talking to this gentleman. And in the interview process, Google has people who've been associated with Google know that we put a lot of emphasis on how interviews are done. There are 7 rounds of interviews which happen. And I was doing the penultimate round. And this person tells me about, he tried getting to Google for about, 8 times. So he didn't quit. And the 8th time, he actually went through. The previous 7 times, he did not go through, not because he was not a great candidate, but because, the requirements were slightly different. So this thing about perseverance and belief in yourself, in spite of what might at first appear to you as a setback, I think that's a trait which will set you apart and will make you successful. Okay. In terms of this second small story that I want to share is another lady. Her name is Barsha, and I have a lot of respect for her. She came from a background which wasn't necessarily technical, and we had to put her in doing something quite technical. But the attitude that Barsha showed from the first day was anything we gave to her, she would say, "Sure, no problem, ho jayega." Taking that ownership and that positivity, I think that trait ensured that Barsha actually grew the fastest in that particular team. So that's another thing, irrespective of whatever you feel, your little voice tells you inside, I can't do it. Just say yes and, go and do it. You'll be able to do it.
Absolutely. I think I could resonate a lot with the message when I am hiring for my team. But the same question to you, Akhilesh, about Microsoft and like how you lead hiring over there. What traits you see commonly in people? And again, like, some personal stories from your end.
Absolutely. So, first of all, thanks to the scholar for inviting here. It is always good to spend time with the young minds. I think you are the future of India. So, looking forward for that one, and welcome to the scholar to all of you. So, the way here we have kind of almost all types of personalities, right? So, in all the big organizations, be it Google or Microsoft, or even we get all kinds of people. So, it becomes challenge for us that how do we identify the right talent to promote them, right? And so the biggest thing what we look for is the commitment and the accountability and ownership, whether they are taking in their work or not, right? So you will see that the people, those who talk well, who are the very good communicator and all, so they may get noticed earlier. But the thing is that those who might be silent, just keep doing their work, they might be doing the fantastic job. So that's the reason we have very structured format that, okay, we evaluate the people based on what they are exactly performing, what exactly they are delivering, and the what kind of potential they have. So it's like a x-axis and y-axis. So we then see that, okay, whatever the things you are delivering, how much of ownership and accountability you are taking, and you are breaking the barrier, and just with the ownership, you are getting the things done without waiting for somebody to tell you that this is something you need to do. So being proactive, taking ownership, these are the traits which will take you forward actually. And that is what, so you should never bother, you should never restrict yourself that, okay, this is my job, only I will be doing this one. You should always think that what more you can do. If you are having that ownership, you will always find out that, okay, why I should wait for somebody? I should just get the things done. And over the period, then we will see that that person has the biggest growth because that person is consistently performing, consistently breaking the barriers, taking ownership and delivering the things.
Absolutely. I think that message is also resonated well. You can see all your seniors, buddies around here, and they show immense amount of ownership, not only as a part of their responsibility as leadership club owners or, POR owners, but also outside of that, just guiding you as a senior. So thanks a lot to the buddies also to be present over here. My next question is also maybe like, going 20 years back, roughly when you guys were in college. I am not sure around the age, but forgive me if I have.
We'll take this as a compliment.
Yes. What did you do differently in college to be where you are?
So first of all, thanks for saying it was 20 years back. Yeah. It was a lot more than that. But, differently or not, I don't know. Definitely have fun. That's a first thing you should be doing. But the second thing is, and I'm a big believer of this gentleman. I don't know if you'll have heard of Richard Feynman. He's one of the best minds that have graced the world of physics. And, he had a very simple way of understanding things. He would say, once you understand thing, you try to teach it to someone, and so there are going to be so many concepts, and not everything you can remember, not everything you can. If you want to understand something, then understand in a small, simple way, and then try to teach someone. If no one, I used to teach an imaginary character, and the things that I taught well, those things have stuck to me. I remember those things. That's one. Because, the degrees, they do matter. But, what more matters more is what you know, and you know with conviction. Yeah. And that gives you conviction. The other thing is, while at college, I don't know whether the academicians and the people here will really support this, but I did a little bit of a side hustle. Those were the days of PCs. Yeah, early days PCs were coming, and I used to integrate and make PCs. And every weekend I used to sell one PC. Yeah, so I mean, of course, not at the cost of your academics, but having that mindset, I think that's helped me a little bit.
No, I think that is quite interesting to know. In fact, we encourage the students to do these side hustles. We have innovation lab where students are actively building startups. So it's a part of the curriculum or that we encourage all the students to do. Uh, but Akhilesh, the same question to you. What did you do differently in college when you again 20 years back to complement you? Yeah.
So I think as Anshuman and yes, we are discussing, right? So I think this is the period where you build a character, you build your foundation, right? So if you are, I will just give an analogy of the house, right? So what are the key two aspects in the house? One is that it's solid foundation, that is what we trust on. And the second thing is that what is its layout look like and all, right? Whether it is fitting your requirement and all those things and whether it is giving you comfort or not, right? So these are the two key aspects. So the first aspect, the foundation, that is what you build here on your day to day. So generally, I will divide my college thing into the three parts. One is like the hostel life, because this is the period, this is the time where you are going to make new friends. You are going to get to know the many types of different types of personality which you will encounter in your professional life also, right? Their individual traits, who is good at what, and then how you will behave it individually, right? Because in you say that when you are in the college life and all, you will deal with all the situations, right? So that is where you will be building and understanding the people and trying to adopt yourself also, that okay, to with this person this is how I need to behave, with other person I need to talk like this, with senior I need to do like this and all. So these are the very gradual process you will build on. And the second thing which has transformed my personality during my college time was the sports, because I used to participate in almost all the games, be it a cricket or football, or even the kabaddi kho. I don't know whether these days you guys even talk about kabaddi kho and javelin throw or not, but I was the captain and also the team member of that one. So that the sports teaches you that how to even when you are losing, right? How you can lose gracefully, and when you are winning, how humbly you can win, right? So all these different characteristics you build during that time, even though when you are fully tired and all, when your friends need something, right, you are up for them. So that shows that you have commitment for them. So these are the different traits you build it. And the third is the curriculum part. And so unfortunately, during our college time, we did not have such fantastic curriculum that we were not getting an opportunity to learn the skill set which we were very relevant to the industry that time. But being in Scalar, I can promise you guys that you are already in that top 1% where the skill set is perfectly matching to what is required to the industry. And I think that is the great thing. So these are all the things you should be focusing on. And so what I used to do that in the academic side, that whatever one thing I am picking, I used to fully go deep down in that and ensure that I have understood fully. I have understood why part, how part, what part, everything about that one. Because if you are not focused and committed on that part, I think then you will be gaining the superficial knowledge. And the way AI is coming and the competition is increasing, you guys need to be fully dedicated on that one. So consider it like an staircase, that where you are going ladder by ladder. You are not jumping the things, because if you are jumping the things, then your foundation will not be strong and you will not be having that strong pillar to jump onto the next thing. Because when we started career, what we had that time, we started with Fortran 77, assembly language, microprocessor coding and all those things. There was no higher level programming language, or there was no AI, but we are picking those up and gradually learning, right? So these are the traits you also need to build it, that continuously learn on the things, learn, unlearn, keep learning other things. And whatever you are doing, understand fully to the greater extent. Like if you are different technologies you are learning, right? So just ask your teachers and friends or seniors that why this technology is there, how it fits into the overall system and all, right? So that is the key focus you people need to putting on. And that will make you successful.
I think everyone in the audience resonated with the message and hence the applause. I think my next question has already been answered about what you would change if you were to go back to college. I think you have covered the part on curriculum. But to Rajorshi sir, what would you change about your college experience if you were to go back?
First of all, if possible, I would get on a time machine and fast forward 30 years and be here today, because I think it's a fantastic time to start. Yeah. Because couple of things. Think about where we are. Uh, Everyone's talking about AI, but let's step back from AI a little bit. The world has been a largely peaceful place for a very long period of time. That gives us humanity an absolute fantastic platform to take it to next levels. Yeah. And so we are extremely lucky, and y'all are the architects of that next whatever it is. As for AI, yes, it's challenging, but it's also the opportunity that it brings. And while specialization is important, but it's also the ability to be a generally useful and intelligent person who will do wonderful things with the help of AI. So, but coming back again, the other thing which I would try to change, Shruti, is I studied electronics. I studied electronics in college and communication, and then I picked up a career in IT services and IT consulting. At times, I felt that maybe if I were formally trained in computer systems, that would have given me a little bit of edge in some areas. So, therefore, um, and this is me speaking 30 years after going through so many cycles in the industry. So, whatever you're learning here, uh, do not think that ye to, this may not be useful, this is only theory. It isn't. It's in the curriculum because of a reason. Pay attention, go through it, understand it. You're going to be able to use it in your future to your advantage.
Understood, understood. I think the next question is more about your time at Google. I'm sure that you would have wonderful experience of meeting people. By the way, have you met Sundar Pichai?
Uh, okay, all right. So about Google, the first thing that resonated about Google with me is people looking at me can immediately make out I love food. Yeah. So, and food at Google is next level. So, they say that so when you start at Google, you're called Noogler. A new Googler is Noogler. And you stay a Noogler till you've put on 5 kilos, with the food at Google. So that's one thing. But look, the other thing about Google, which I found extremely striking, is today everyone's talking about efficiency and how to utilize time better. On In that scenario, Google actually has a program of 80-20, where 80% is assigned work and 20% is a flexibility that is given to do work that you want to do. And if you can come up with any sort of a idea, it is funded, and it is seriously funded. So they do build the startup culture within the organization. Now, as for anecdotes, and this is where actually Sundar Pichai actually put in some time. His claim to fame was Chrome, right? He was the person who brought about, built Chrome, and this was one of the programs that he used to get people to join his Chrome program, because he didn't have funding to build Chrome at that time. So, other than that, I mean, there are definitely many quirky stories about people going to sleep on massage chairs and writing code, sitting in all sorts of places and all that. But that's the thing. When you work, the thing that I take away: when you work, keep a little bit of time to think. That is actually important.
Understood. I think I wouldn't ask the similar question to you, but because I'm sure, food at Microsoft is also great. I've asked from my friends, and they have, gained 5 kilos after joining Microsoft as well. But from the experience of working at large scale organizations like Microsoft, I want to understand how is innovation truly fostered there and managed at scale.
Right. So we know that innovation cannot happen in the silos, or we cannot force people to say that no, you need to innovate, right? So that will not work. So innovation comes generally when the people get the free space to work, as he said, right? So there has to be time to think. So that is very much required. And also the very psychological safe environment where like people feel comfortable in taking risk, trying something, and then what, even if the failures are there, they learn from it, right? So as long as we are able to create that kind of environment, and that is what at Microsoft, like the growth learning, growth mindset, right? So this is one of the fantastic things that growth means is that, okay, I may not know something, but yes, I will learn. I will put an effort to learn on that one, right? Similarly, we have also moved the culture from know it all to learn it all. So it's not that there should not be an ego that, yeah, I know everything, I am a subject matter expert for this and no. But the attitude should be more humble one that, yes, this is something is there, I will learn this thing, even if it's not there, right? So this kind of environment, it gives an opportunity for everybody to really try the things, get along with the people, collaborate, and then innovate. So that is how, by creating the psychological safe environment and giving the people an opportunity to do something new, right? Whether it's through hackathons or giving an additional time, or creating, or the or like the managers promoting in their team that, okay, let's try to do something innovative, let's focus on this area and all. That is how we create the innovative scale.
Speaking of innovation, AI is evolving at lightning fast speed, and you have spoken about it, like, in the earlier question. Uh, how do you think students can stay relevant in the era of AI?
Oh, I think sometimes I feel sorry for this generation, and sometimes I feel very happy for this one, that you people have so abundant of knowledge and information that we did not have during that time, right? But at the same time, this has also become a kind of a curse for you guys, that everybody has the same access, right? So there is an equity now. Earlier, this was a privilege to get an information and knowledge, but now it is available for everybody. So now, how you can differentiate on that one, right? So if you go back to my first thing, consistency is the most important thing. If you need to be consistent, and I have one philosophy also here. I follow the 4C philosophy here, that the first thing is that you need to have the curiosity. That is the first thing. Because if you are not curious enough to learn, even though all the information is then around, it is of no use to you because you are not accessing to that information, right? And the second thing is that even if you have the curiosity, you are trying to learn that one. But if you are not understanding why part, which is the second C, is the clarity. You need to have the clarity. As I said earlier also, right? Whatever the subject you are learning, or whatever the databases you are learning, right? So suppose MongoDB or Postgre and all. So you need to understand that why particular this database only at this time, why this technology only at this time, why particular system architecture only we are using, why not this, why not we are using Kafka or something. There could be various different things, right? To just try to just go into the details and keep on asking why, right? So unless you people have the clarity, then you will not be able to successful, right? And the third C is the capability and the capacity. And I think this is the fantastic place for that one, because you have all the ammunitions to build that capability and capacity, because the kind of syllabus you have here, which is fantastic, right? And this will definitely help you. And then once we are done with what part, which is curiosity, why part, which is clarity, and how part, which is your capability and capacity, then once all these things come together, then it's the commitment you need to show. Because if you are, even if you have all these things and you are not, you do not have the commitment and the consistency is not there, somebody else will move forward by like beating you guys, right? So that's where these 4 C's are very important. This is what I agree. And there is one more fifth C also, which is something you should be avoiding. And then the fifth C is the comfort zone. Because if you are in the comfort zone, then whatever the effort you are putting, you will not be successful. So just be very uncomfortable all the time, break all the barriers, and try to just keep on learning, and then show that curiosity, and just like don't be in the comfort zone. So these are the principles I tell to everybody.
My question is, like, in this generation, as we know, you said that information is available to all of us and that equity is there. So what should we do, and how should we use this equity, and what are the skill sets that we require to get into companies like Google and Microsoft and excel in our lives?
Okay. So, first of all, I'm sorry, would you mind telling me your name, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Shovik Bera.
Shovik. Okay. So, Shovik and others, I mean, the one thing is competency is table stakes. Yeah. So, you have to be competent. You have to be very good at whatever you are doing. So, that's going to be judged. But that's not going to be enough to get you into whether it is big companies, the tech giants, or it is, the smaller companies which are going to be the giants, or whatever you do. The thing that's going to probably, you need to do is have lots of, confidence and, show that you are open to take up whatever challenges that company is going to bring in. I'll talk about a little thing which happens in Google interviews. After going through all the rounds of interviews, there's a interview called Googliness interview. Yeah. So I think there may be others who are associated with Google and know about it. So this Googliness actually tries to assess, how well you fit into the way of Google, which is thinking about the customer, going into 10x, being a good human being. Don't lose those traits. And if you continue on your path, being competent, I'm sure you're going to do fantastically.
Right. So just to yeah. So the thing is that, like I said, all the forces, right? Those qualities are definitely required. But in addition to that, like I will just try to emphasize on bring the clarity in the thoughts, right? So what I mean by this is then if you are very clear on what you want to do, right? Whether you are reading subject or in your personal life or anything, you will take the decisions very smoothly and fast. But if you do not have the clarity and you have the confusion, then the things start to become mess, right? So just by focusing on your like curriculum on understanding why and all those things, in addition to that, keep the things very simple, have the clarity. I think things will automatically fall in place.
Thank you, sir. There couldn't be a better answer than that.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. This is Adnan. The question that I'm going to ask is not really technical, but more like a life lesson. So I've always struggled with two ideas. As you say, that consistency is the key. And this is very evident as we have seen Thomas Alva Edison, more than 1,000 failures. He finally got what he wanted, the success. But in this generation, there's one more thing that is circulating is that just because you're not giving up doesn't mean you're going to make it. Right. So maybe in this generation that we're living, the world is so fast forward, the time is the key. So everybody is advancing. If I keep trying something and I know that I want to do it, but just I am not able to do it. So do you think that I should change my path or not? Should I stick to the original consistency is the key? Never give up. You're not gonna make it.
Right. I think the giving up is not a solution for sure. The thing is that if suppose you are struggling with something, right? So I would say that now you have abundance of places where you can go and check that where exactly you are struggling, right? And that is where the thing is that and then the most important thing is that suppose the problem which you want to solve, do you have the clarity on that problem statement itself, right? If you are clear on that problem statement, right, then automatically you will see that the answer is in front of you. So bringing that clarity, again, it goes back to the clarity, right? So clarity and have the patience that, yes, okay, maybe somebody is taking 2 days something to understand. You may take 4 days. That's perfectly fine. But as long as you have that clarity that what you want to achieve, and then the consistency, I think things will fall in place. But giving up is not the solution because now, as I said, information is with everybody. So there is earlier people used to struggle and give up because they were not knowing that, okay, how to move forward. But now there is absolutely no excuse that why you cannot move forward.
For example, like hypothetically, if I have done like 3-4 startups, all were failure. Like if I've been working on multiple startups until now, it's been failure. What should I do? Should I go for another idea or should I look for a different field?
No, absolutely. So that's, as I said, right, giving up is absolutely not a solution, right? So you need to just reflect back and see that why those 3 startups failed, right? That analysis is there, and that is failure from the learning, right? That is what you need to continuously do, that because this age is about learning from the failure and then applying those learnings. Because if you are not applying those learnings, then you are not you will not be successful, right? So learn from the failure, apply those learning, and then see. Maybe somebody is lucky enough to maybe be successful at the first shot. Yeah, sometime it may take 2-3 iterations, right? And that is where the maturity comes.
But do expand your horizon. See, if you are, let's say, startup, you gave this example of startup. Being successful, successful startup founder is not the only way to key to success. You could become a fantastic painter. I don't know. Yeah. So, expand your horizon, but definitely giving up. If you give up, then your chances are zero, right? So you have to be at it and you have to be wise and expand.
Hello, my name is Udavir, and I'm very interested into CEOs and founders. I read Steve Jobs' biography by Walter Isaacson. You guys have worked on Microsoft and Google. You might have interacted with Sergey and Larry and Satya Nadella and the Bill Gates and all. So what's the difference between tech CEOs and co-founders which are at the top and which are the pioneers in their field? So what is that striking quality or something different that you guys have learned from them or you have adapted in your life?
That's a fantastic question. Look, I have not interacted with the current CEO of Google. I have interacted with a lot of CEOs of other companies. I'll tell you one trait of Sundar, which I saw and we all took a lot of inspiration from. As you know, there was a gentleman from OpenAI a little while ago. And when OpenAI came with ChatGPT, everyone sort of said, this is it. Google is, there's an end date now put on Google's dominance. And there were side conversations coming that, this CEO is a celebrity CEO. He goes around with his entourage, But the way he came back and he responded with his leadership team, whether it is the DeepSeek, Gemini, or doing all the things that they are today doing, that conviction, that perseverance, and that obviously the depth of substance that existed in the company, bringing that out, it's not easy. I think that's a lesson to learn from him. I also had opportunity in my life to work pretty closely with the current chairman of the Tata Group. And again, from Chandra, we've seen razor sharp focus on, what you do and, on numbers being objective, not subjective. So those are things which I've taken as learnings.
Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Sohangi Singh. My question to you as people with such huge profiles is, what's that one skill you wish more freshers like me would start building up early, in such early on in the journey we are on right now?
Yeah, I think especially in the AI age, what I would recommend is that building the capability of a human for what the human is known for, right? Emotional empathy and all those things, because the most uncommon thing is the common sense. So similarly, in the humans also, we need to have that human aspect there. And that is what the capability I think you guys should be building, especially in the AI age. Otherwise, this is going to be very difficult.